Hello there everyone, Xantok here with Slickstar Gaming, and welcome back to some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So, last time we learned that the boat shop owner was actually Yanni Yogi, and he's the one that killed Robert Hammond, so it should be pretty easy to prove Edwards' innocence, right? Right. Not with Von Karma on the other side of the bench. Great. It's gonna be all kinds of fun today, isn't it? Anyways, December 28th, 9:51 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is it. Judgment Day. Today, things are gonna get settled at last. A lot of things. What the? What's the big idea? Sorry, Nick. I only touched your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off from my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. Anyhow, today's the last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum as always. I hope Von Karma doesn't push him too hard. What are you doing? I'm sorry. I just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back and maybe a little bit of electrical execution. Maya, maybe you should go outside and discharge. Right, good idea. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. Well, that didn't work. What's gone into that girl? Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Mr. Edgeworth. Good morning. How'd it go, Detective? Have no fear. As promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Took all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock I got on the way in, I feel pretty good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name. But that has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? He does remember, and I'm going to prove it. I mean, the parrot said remember DL6. He could also have commanded there saying, Polly, what's my name? Yanni Yogi. Alright, 10 a.m., time to head into the court. Oh boy, it's Karma. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. And Karma's actually going to speak up? Interesting. The prosecution is ready. Right. Very well. We have reached the final day of our proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submit decisive evidence. Understood. Come on. Don't be awed into silence by every little thing he says. Very well. Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. You want us to cross-examine him a lot? This feels like a trap. Very well. Please bring the witness into the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop on the lake, from where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. Witness, why did you run away yesterday? The witness was not running away, as he will now testify. I see. Very well. Please begin your testimony. Why he left court? I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. But I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. So my testimony yesterday stands as is. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, shall we? He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi, and I'm going to prove it. Alright, caretaker. Let's see here. That seems like nothing. This one seems like it's going to be nothing. Buying some food for Polly. Tell me more about Polly. Food? Well, Polly is a bit of a gourmand, you see. She only eats these high-quality bird pellets from France. They only have them in the big pet shop downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker's shack? Well, I kinda got lost, you see. Really? The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack. Yeah, right. Nice try, Von Karma. No one's going to believe that. I see. So he was lost. Please, Your Honor, come to your senses. You got nothing to do with the incident? I don't think that's true. You've lost much of your memory. Is that correct? Yep. Seems like it. Then how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with this incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory. You know exactly who you are. The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is. If you claim he's lying, then show the court proof. How am I supposed to prove what's going on in that old codger's head? That's impossible. I'm glad you come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well, witness. Please, continue. You say you don't have a motive. I say you do. How can you say you had no motive? I say you do. Wow, that was almost the exact dialogue I said. Alright, cool. You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took revenge on them, right? Please don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. This witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. He can't hold a grudge. It's impossible. I had to prove he's lying about his memory. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing over and over until the trial ends. Might I say something, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? You've been saying the same thing now over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory of the past, or lack thereof, into question. But does this really have anything to do with the current case? Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, there is a serious problem with your claim. Or, are you saying you know who this witness is? Of course, Your Honor. Ho-ho! Now this is interesting. I would like to know myself. So, who is he? Well, Von Karma, I'm pretty sure you know, actually. Don't play dumb, Von Karma. Mr. Wright, please, tell us this witness's name. Okay, seriously, this is getting too easy. Like, it gives us a choice of a dead person, another dead person, and a person that just disappeared off the face of the map. Gee, I wonder which one it could be. His name is Yanni Yogi, a former court bailiff. Yogi? That name seems familiar. Oh, Yanni Yogi, from the DL6 incident. Thought the judge would have heard of it. It was such a famous case. But what does this mean? Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive. Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This man, this witness, is Yanni Yogi. Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? This is a court of law, as you may recall. You need proof. And allow me to repeat once more that the witness has lost his memory. This is it. I have to do this now. If I can't prove he's Yogi right here, right now, then I've got nowhere else to go. Nick, how are you going to prove it? How can you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? It's okay. It's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please, take this man's fingerprints. And we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago. I see. That makes sense. What? I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. Why? The witness has no fingerprints. What the fuck? What? No fingerprints? You see, before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. I burned my fingers working with the stuff. Yep. That is awfully convenient. Yogi, you sneak. You burned your fingerprints off to hide your past. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we would not be able to prove his identity. No. Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? Well, it seems that the case has been decided. No. No. I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. But no. I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There is no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one. Nick, what are we going to do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. Who does that? What do I do? Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine the parrot for a little comic relief, Yeah, very funny. You're a sore winner, Von Karma. Wait a second. Cross-examine the parrot? What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to... Your Honor? The defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal? Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. As everyone in the courtroom goes, what? Order. Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object. I mean, it was your suggestion, Von Karma. I don't know that you have room to object here. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. You played yourself. Nice work. Well, if you are so desperate, then please, be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes out of it, then I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Well, so you want to go through with your little game? Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except for Larry. Except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least, I think so. Bailiff, bring in the parrot. Probably gonna take a recess to get the parrot here, but okay. Oh, look, that was fast. Hey, it's Polly! That's quite a bird. Please, tell us your name. Name. The witness is ignoring me. Must hurt to be ignored by a bird. Ahem. Very well. Witness. Who is your owner? Please, testify for us. But the bird only responds if you say Polly, so how's it going to answer you? Hello, hello. Oh my fucking god. Oh, we're fucked. We're so fucked. Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well. Begin your cross-examination, I guess. Right. Von Karma must be laughing right now. What are you going to do, Nick? I have no idea. What do we do, Maya? I mean, I got some suggestions. Witness, you can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere. I want you to testify. Phoenix, you're talking to the bird like it's a person. Maya, you talk to her. Right, what do I say? Have we forgotten anything? Has been a very nice, thing so far. Remember, 2 days ago? Polly, have we forgotten something? Don't forget, DL6. If I can get Polly to say that here, that will prove that the caretaker has something to do with DL6. Polly, have we forgotten something? Hello, hello. That's not the response we wanted. That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot something. We forgot. Hello, hello. Shit, it's not working anymore. Could he have did he reteach his parrot to say to that? It's not working, Nick. She won't say it. Oh, this is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Something the matter, Mr. Wright. Wait. Don't tell me Von Karma expected this. He couldn't have retrained the parrot, could he? Did he train her not to respond when we asked if we've forgotten anything? So let's try something else. Words. Let's try to have her Polly say something else then. Frankly, I can't believe that you're speaking to the parrot. Well, I guess we could try to get some information out of her. We need to show the judge that her owner is Mr. Yogi. I was trying to press the parrot so that you could do that. Like, that's what we're doing here, Maya. Why aren't you answering the question? Here we go. Alright, parrot. What's your name? Maybe I should get her to say her name? Polly, what's your name? Polly. Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot is named Polly. Does this have anything to do with her owner's identity? Sure it does. Yes, it does. Ha! Fascinating. You claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity? Then show us this proof. Nick, don't you think you're taking the bluffing a little too far? Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi, but Polly is a super common parrot name. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity is this. So, there was something we had found recently that I questioned. I didn't really make note of it at the time because I didn't really feel like I should. But, if we look here on the suspect data for Yanni Yogi, it mentions the name of his fiancée, Polly Jenkins, who had committed suicide at some point. I don't know about you, but that's a connection. The DL6 case file? That's quite a large file you have there. Which page is this proof on, then? Show us, or stop wasting our time. Very well. Mr. Wright, please show us the page. Where in this file is the information connected to the parent's name? It's in the suspect data, obviously. It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide. See? Indeed. It does say that, yes. And what was his fiancée's name? Polly Jenkins. Polly? Exactly, Your Honor. He remembered the name of his fiancée, who committed suicide. That's why he's named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Pah! A mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? She's only 7 years old. Huh. Indeed. Alone, it is a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence. Where am I going to find that? Nick, we're getting closer. One more. If we can just get one more piece of evidence. Right. But what? Very well, witness. You may continue. So there's... Oh, oops, I went too far. I guess we should try to get some information out of her? We need to show the judge... Oh yeah, I've already gotten that. We'll press on hello again. There's one question left that we haven't had Maya ask. Let's just skip right to that and say... Polly, what's the safe number? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of that safe? Huh? The safe? Why? Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly, what was the number of the safe in the shack? 1228! 1228! My, what a reckless parrot. Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Actually, it does. Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it. Ha! Ridiculous! How can the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity? I got a theory here. Let's look at the case file again and see what date it occurred. Because we know it was in December. Hey, look at that. December 28th. Von Karma. Time to weep. The DL6 case file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something related to the safe number? The case summary. It's on the case summary page. The case summary? Specifically, the date on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident? December 28th. Why, that's today's date, 15 years ago. And the number on that safe is 1228, or 1228, or December 28th. He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm number 1. And now you're going to change that number. This has nothing to do with a date. Nothing. That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence, that's all. True, that is a possibility. However, 2 coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately. Alright. Witness. Tell us your name. Fuck off on Karma. This witness, he doesn't remember. Nope. It's okay. I've accomplished what I wanted to. I'm done. Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting. For 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please, state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi. So was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. Well, that was easy. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond, he said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancé, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance. After 15 years, this was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, is innocent. In this case, at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Oh, look at that, Von Karma. Your perfect record. Ruined. How's it feel? That is all. The court is adjourned. Well, shit, we won. What? Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. But that means... no. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick, Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the Neil 6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Fuck. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Well, fuck me. For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the spot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Okay, one, I doubt it. Two, if you were a kid and it was an accident, so you're fine. Just chill, man. Chill. This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which a statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. It's obvious. We hold a trial, right here, right now. We try this man for the crime of 15 years ago. I mean, he's right, that's the only option concerning statute of limitations is today. I think I will take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. Oh boy, well, I mean, we proved Edward's innocence, but now he's trying to throw himself into jail. Like a fucking idiot. 2:24 p.m., let's see what's going on. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you killed your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy! Just crazy! Nick, what are you doing? I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it, in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Alright, it's 2:30. We're heading back into the courtroom. Alright, before we get back into all the dialogue, I want to go ahead and look at the court record. Just as a refresher of everything that we have left to help prove Edgeworth's innocence a second time. So we have our attorney's badge. Highly doubt this is going to be useful. Robert's autopsy report shouldn't matter anymore either. The lake photo, no. Misty face photo. An old photograph DL6 incident Exhibit A is written on the back. Okay, let's keep that in mind. The overhead map shouldn't matter anymore. The pistol bullet, that was for this murder that just finished. Same with the pistol. Okay, the metal detector hasn't been used in court yet. But I don't know that it will, but still good to have. The parrot, okay. The DL6 case file. Let's reread all this again. Alright, so the case summary. December 28, 2001, Elevator District Court. Air in elevator was oxygen depleted at time of incident. No clues found in the scene. Victim data. Gregory Edgeworth, age 35. Defense attorney. Trapped in elevator returning from a lost trial with son Miles, age 9. One bullet found in heart. Their murder weapon was fired twice. See, that's another thing. If Edgeworth just threw the gun and it happened to accidentally fire, the odds of it hitting his father in the heart? Astronomical. Come on. And then the suspect data. Yanni Yogi, age 37. Court bailiff. Trapped with the Edgeworths. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. After his arrest, fiancée Polly Jenkins commits suicide. What else do we have here? The incident photo. Not that helpful. And then the DL6 bullet. That's what came out of Edward's heart. And that's all we got. Then I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Although it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in the elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Ah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Phoenix said something stood out to him before that didn't make sense. I didn't really see anything. I'm gonna go look at the case file again. Just, oh shit, I did not mean to... My bad. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I'll have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. God damn it. I didn't want to present, I wanted to just look at it. Ugh. Here we go. Alright, let's do some reading. Okay. The air was depleted, no clues were found. One bullet found in his heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. We got it. Hey, Edgeworth. You know how you said the murder weapon, you only heard one shot? That's not true. Before, I want to go ahead and press it first. The gun fired once. Yes, I think. After I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. Alright. We know that there were 2 gunshots fired, so let's go ahead and prove Edgeworth wrong on this point. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I mean, it's literally what the case is about, Von Karma. Shut the fuck up, you drizzled old prune. I don't accept this evidence, unless you can tell us what page it's on. Oy, again with the pages. Is the victim data, you dumbass? Look at the victim data page in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Good question. Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof if the other shot fired has something to do with the case? No, but we'll bluff our way through. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma. Save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to the first? No, I don't. I really don't. So I'm just gonna throw a few things out there. I don't see a second gunshot anywhere in this picture. No bullet hole in the wall or anything. The bullet itself was just as it was taken from his heart. Sure, let's just... I don't know. Mr. Wright, please, think how we feel having looked at this evidence time and time again. Every time you show us ridiculous evidence, I feel, well, mocked. Oh, I really don't mean any harm by it, Your Honor. Not meaning any harm and not doing any harm are two different things, Mr. Wright. Try again. Oh, God, The only other thing that's related to DL6 really with these evidence that we have is Misty Faye's photo and the case file, which it's not going to be the case file, I don't think. There's something in it about that. Because we'll just see the photo. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime, 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice, at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. How, man? So, let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please. Get a clue. Oh, shit! I see it! Look up here! In the little window of the elevator door. There's a hole where a bullet would have been shot. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Exactly. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet, there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Checks out. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out? In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Oh, but I thought you didn't like it when we pulled that file out. Huh. Now you're wanting us to do it? Okay. The case summary. That's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. Okay, and if the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly someone else that made that bullet hole in the door. Or something else, rather. Order. Order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. Fair. Unless it fell down the elevator shaft and nobody looked there. So all we have is a single bullet fired. I'm afraid I had to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? Because I don't know how. I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edward declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So, you killed your father. Though that was not your intention. Yes, I did. Oh no! He's confessing! Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today. Right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things. So many things I know I should be saying. But my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright, we have to try. Your Honor, I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Well, Nick, I don't know. His case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. Well, the second bullet. It definitely exists. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet, but why would he? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Let's think about this here. Edgeworth throws the gun. Doesn't hit his dad, it goes through the door. If it goes through the door, it's going to land in one of two locations. Maybe one of three. We'll give it a shot there. It's either going to go in the wall, it's going to go in like a briefcase or something that someone is holding, or it's going to go into a person. Let's be honest, probably not the briefcase, considering you'd have to be holding that in front of you, considering the height of the door, that it looks like it was shot at. They would have seen a bullet hole in a wall. They might not have seen it in a person. Why would the murderer have needed to spend the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Well... The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer. What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have no idea what I'm doing. The murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? Well, for instance. For instance, what? Maybe the bullet hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you'd have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there, you know? I mean, it checks out. Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head. But what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer himself was shot? And he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yeah, I guess that's how it worked. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from the elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside. Yes. The two men fought inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the scene at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. What? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? No, I don't at all. We talked to Grossberg. Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. Wait a minute. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of the shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh man. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Oh boy, should I come out and say it now? Let's say it now. Might as well, after all. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? It was Voldemort. No. My hands are shaking. What? Von Karma. Von Karma? How is Von Karma not laughing right now? He should be laughing at us. You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor, sitting right there? Bah! You don't object. I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation with no reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane! No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull a bullet out of yourself. Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere. But where? Still inside of him? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? You know, we do have that metal detector. Alright, Von Karma. I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is, technically the metal detector isn't evidence, it has not had anything to do with this trial until now. We use it to find out that Gordy wasn't real, but that's it. Wow, it really was a secret weapon though. Shit. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There's the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there's only one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you. See what we find. Oh shit, he's nervous. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Order! Order! Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. How? The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we had to give it a shot. Well, would you look at that? It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you? I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. Hey, buddy, prove it. But, Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? Ho ho. I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright. Not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. That's not true, though. We do have some evidence. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. You see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. The bullet, whose ballistic markings we can match after we dig out that bullet from your shoulder. That's a bullet. Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial, 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets from Wow. Way to go, Judge. Way to screw up saying the word fired in your own flashback. I mean, that must be really embarrassing for you. But don't worry, I'll allow you a second chance. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets, then if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then, we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? Oh, he having a meltdown of epic proportions. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet! I said quiet! You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air! Get away! Get away from my father! It's that scream I heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma! It was you who screamed! Mr. Von Karma. Only you would dare defy me. So it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death! Death! 15 years earlier. Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth. It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me? Penalized? It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out in the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, and nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible, burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge. What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, for the second time. Whew! What a case! That is all. The court is adjourned. Oh man, that was a long one. 5:38 p.m. now? Jeez, where does the time go? Nick! We did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside, you crushed him, Nick! Crushed! I gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know. I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now, it's all just a good memory. So, it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Just try thank you. I see. Thank you. Right. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Oh, sorry. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. Dear. Whoa! Amazing, pal! You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. What? Why are you yelling whoop? No, Edgeworth. That's a big no. Don't do that. No. I feel foolish. Don't worry. Take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all! Lotta! Y'all were great in there. Thanks. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats. Thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You would have stick your hand in the cookie jar even if there was no one there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Wait, what? It's over, Nick! My life is over! Not again. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick. I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Fiancé. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving behind. Isn't that where your last girlfriend went? Larry. God damn it, Larry. Oh, hey, Edgy. There you are. Oh, yes. Here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts. You come along tonight, too. My treat, pal. Huh? Oh, thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh. What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either, and it's not easily divisible by 5 or 10. Wait. $38 exactly? Nick? Wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38? No! Larry, it was you? Why are you so surprised, right? Well, Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What do you mean? Think back to that day, 15 years ago. Well, Larry took the day off, but he was bored. He came to the school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right. You may not have known this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. I was there. Really right. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this is sure an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth. You should have told me. Now, Nick. It was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, I'd call you a goody two-shoes to the extreme. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. Death. The death sentence for both of you. Oh, if only I had known, I'd have become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, right? Hey y'all, line up. I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time. Let's go. And after that, dinner's on me. Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Although, Edgeworth was still in detention. Why? For what? 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 There's more? December 29th, 5:02 a.m. in the office. Whoa. I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Wait, it's still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. Wait, what's this? A letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium, for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? The first trains for the mountains have already left. I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick? Maya? So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Wait. What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes. Only her voice. But still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Alright. Maya, without you, we couldn't have gotten this bullet from Von Karma. So nice work. A bullet? Von Karma was convinced he had taken all the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Nick. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. What? I'm going to complete my training. And come back. Okay. I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. Well, I don't know about that. So, bye. Bye. Thanks, Nick. And so, my story ends. Time to turn a new page and say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now, a new story begins, with the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim? Sure, Your Honor. I got a bad feeling about this. So it's going to go ahead and scroll through the credits here, but despite all that, we are not done with the game. While the original release of this game ended with this case, there is one more that we can do. Hey, pal. I think he's just got some credits up, I guess. Good. Edgeworth, what are you doing? Oh, God. Edgeworth is trying to be personable for some reason. I'm not really going through the dialogue here because I can't just make it happen when I want to. It's just going to automatically move on. But, like I said, there is one more case in the game, and we had a lot of ending there. Larry talking for some reason. Each of the games kind of ends with this nice little, at least the original games ended with, you know, they had that long big sequence at the end, you had your little celebration, there's a photo, you have all the characters back, they all like to talk about something, most of the characters at least. But because this game added an extra case to the DS version, it's kind of odd in that regard, because there's still one more to do afterwards. It's really a bonus, and it uses some features of the DS that any of the other cases from the first 3 games don't use because they were originally released on the Game Boy Advance. Were they all released on the Game Boy Advance, or was it just the first game? Honestly, I don't remember. I know the first game was. I'm not too sure about 2 and 3. But that is going to be it for today's episode. Next time around, we will be starting the 5th and final case of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And it is going to be a long one. If you thought this case was wild and crazy, oh boy, just wait until you see the next one. It is going to be very long. It's not, you know, it doesn't go past the 3-day rule, so it still lasts the same amount of time technically, but each segment in them is a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more complicated. It's going to be nutty. I don't remember much about that case. Of the cases in this game, it's the one I remember the least. I know who the killer is, and I remember who some of the characters are, and what the case revolves around, where the murder happened and all that, who the victim is. I remember all these details, but I don't remember a lot of the more minute stuff. The exact, you know, point to point, what you gotta do as you go through it. Unfortunately, I will say, Maya is not going to be in the next case. It takes place while she's out doing her training. But don't worry, when we eventually get to the second game, Maya will be back. You'll see. I was about to say maybe I should tease it there, but nah. We'll just be straight up. Maya will be back for the next game. She's in almost all the games in this series. There's a couple that she's not in, but she is in the vast majority. And those times when she was gone, the fans weren't too happy about it. Neither was I, in all honesty. Oh, Penny got a letter from Maya. Oh, so yeah, all this stuff, all these conversations are happening in that in-between. Because Penny's talking about how Maya is back doing training, and she told her about it. And apparently they're doing trading cards with the Pink Princess and whatnot. Kind of hoping these credits would go a little bit faster, but well. I will say, even though I normally give a little tease to what the next game is going to be on the channel in the final episode. Now, considering we've got these credits going on here, it's kind of a good time to just mention things real quick. I don't know what the next game is going to be. Generally, by this point in a series, I've picked out what I'm going to do, but the reason why I don't know, as I said before, I tend to record these videos way in advance, so I have a nice backlog. So that there's not going to be a chance of me running out of episodes and I have to hurriedly scramble to record one and then update it that same day. Because I don't like doing that. Sometimes this happens, but I prefer to have a backlog. And at this point in time, there's a game that I'm planning to stream on Twitch. And once it's done, I'm wanting to upload it to the channel in episodes. But I don't know when this game finishes if I'm going to be done playing that game or not. If I am, I'm just going to jump to uploading it. Oh look, Ghost Mia's in the photo! This is the photo that Lotta Heart took right after we finished defending Edgeworth. Great photo. Don't know where Maya got that sign though. So, once this series is over, I'll either... What? Oh my god, they did that? I didn't know they did that. That's cool. A brand new episode has been added. Rise from the Ashes. Oh yeah, let's save. And next time around, it's going to be that 5th and final case. And I'll see you all then, as I leave you on this victory screen. Bye, everyone.